Memories. Next in Football Grandstand, not a dry eye in the house at the Western Oval. Footscray against Melbourne for a possible place in the finals. At 6:15, highlights of an important game at Princes Park between Fitzroy and the Swans. And then it went right down to the wire as we go to Cardinia Park at around 6:20 for the dramatic last quarter between Geelong and Hawthorn before closing out with the marks and goals of the day. Well, the lead up to the match at the Western Oval was full of emotion. Footscray's visits to the final since they joined the league in 1925 have been pretty occasional. In fact, they've only been in 13 times, and a couple of clubs have won more premierships than that. Their only premiership team, the Bulldogs of 1954, paraded before the crowd in the lead up to today's match, and no doubt as a weapon to try and psych up the Bulldogs of 87. But Melbourne supporters were using 2 boxes of Kleenex to Footscray's 1. The Demons hadn't been into the finals since they won the premiership back in 1964. And Robbie Flower, one of the Demons' greatest players, 270 games with the club, more than any other player, has never played in a final, and if the Demons didn't come through today, Robbie was playing his last game, and Demon supporters made their feelings pretty clear about Robbie Flower. And what a match it was at the Western Oval, where it's so hard for visiting teams to win. At quarter time, Footscray led by 2 points, and they were a goal up at half-time. We join at the first bounce in the second half our commentary team, Drew Morfitt, Ian Robertson and Bernie Quinlan.
But if Geelong lose down there, the winner here will go into the finals, and it is nip and tuck. Been fantastic. Hope it continues for the next hour. Dean dragged down, ball held to him, says umpire Rowan Saws, and he'll come in and ball it up. See Footscray starting the second half with their captain Rick Kennedy on the bench. He's been reported, and with him Cousins, so a bit of height and strength there.
Free kick being picked out of that ruck contest, and it'll go to Purser, defensive side of centre. He'll put the Bulldogs into attack. Nice long kick by Purser out towards the half-forward flank area. Collingham takes the mark. He gave the handball to Royal. One wonders whether Royal was ready for it, but he backed up, turned, kicked it with centre-half forward. Demon defence under pressure. Hughes gets the kick away. Newport a chance. Bounce over the top. Here comes Peter Baxter. Handball over the top. Steve McPherson. Cronin from inside 50 metres. Goes for goal. Offline. Marks to Footscray. Right in the goal square to Foster. And what a tonic for the Bulldogs this will be. Just 2 minutes after the start of the third quarter, Foster will kick Footscray's 7th goal and the 2nd goal to him personally.
Yes, and this is the all-important quarter, the third quarter. There's Kennedy back on the ground already, so a very quick change made by Mick Malthouse. But the third quarter we've often seen is a very important one in football. And Footscray kicking with a slight breeze. They've got the opportunity now in this quarter to really go on with this game. But I just felt in that instance that Danny Hughes may have been able to do a better job and spoil Peter Foster standing in the goal square.
So Darren Baxter off. He started on the bench and had a bit of a run in the second quarter. And Rick Kennedy, the Footscray skipper, back on about 2 minutes into the start of the third term. Ball up in the middle, and Turner beats Purser, but it goes to Hawkins. He picks out Cronin with the hand pass. Inside half forward, Foster waits underneath, and the mark taken by McPherson at the back. Well, if Foster's start was good, another goal by McPherson would really have Footscray racing towards a victory and perhaps a place in the 5. They made the preliminary final in 85, slumped last year, but they might come back again this year. But they're going to have to rely on Geelong losing. Steve McPherson from 45 metres. He's made it. That's his 2nd.
And what a start for the Bulldogs. That's 2 goals 2 to Steve McPherson. And they really started off in a great fashion in this third quarter.
Blonde hair earlier in the season too, didn't he?
I'm not sure, Robbo, but a very easy chest mark here to Steve McPherson. Pretty poor defence by Melbourne to let him take that mark.
18 points Footscray lead by. And the quarter is just 3 minutes old. Turner does it again. Footscray defence, rock solid. Brian Cordy. Stretched just a little bit underneath it. Wallace towards half forward. Oh, good punch away there by Lovett. Foster. Good kick, Foster. Beasley in the square. Good hands, Beasley.
Yes, good strong mark, Simon Beasley. And let's see, here he is lining up for his first goal. Here's the mark again. He held Danny Hughes out until the last moment. And now Simon Beasley for his first goal.
Couldn't possibly miss. And he kicks it nearly into Bartley Street. And what a start of the third quarter for the Bulldogs. They were 6 goals for at half-time. And within 4 minutes, they're 9 goals for. And they lead by 4 goals.
Yes, a very good start. That's 3 goals in the first 4 minutes here at the Western Oval. And there it is. A drop mark knocked on by the Melbourne defence. Peter Foster, who is really coming into the game at the start of this third quarter, gets an awkward kick away, and Simon Beasley took a very strong mark.
Footscray out of the middle again through McGuinness. McPherson can't mark, but it comes to that man Wallace, damaging again, up to Beasley. He's still not without a chance. Hughes goes to ground, comes back to Hughes, a bit fortunate. Healy, McGuinness had followed up on the 50 line, up to McPherson. No, it's Wallace again, and Wallace's shot across the face of goal, and the mark in defence taken by Lovett. And Melbourne have to withstand this storm at the moment.
On to Spalding. Spalding to half-back. Mark not paid, but free kick was to Newport. And the Demons have just a little bit of slight relief. Newport's kick to the wing. Punched away by Bulldogs. Flower. Possession number 3, and he still didn't even get that. The umpire allowed it to go on when I think any ordinary footballer could have been penalised for that.
Oh,
perhaps a little sympathy. Well, he was caught with the football, Bernie. Boundary throw in between wing and half forward for Footscray. Free kick being picked out of it by umpire Dorr, and it'll go back to Spalding. And Spalding to perhaps put the Demons into attack. It goes over centre wing. Turner can't mark. Peter Baxter. Good long, beautiful handball to Wallace. Wallace to Cronin. Cronin nearly smothered by Viney, but the ball goes off to half forward. Mark taken by Lovett. Lovett and McPherson having a great tussle. Off to White. White out towards centre wing. Forward there for Footscray. Just as he was about to pick it up, he got his toe to the ball and kicked it further forward for the Demons, but he recovered well. Kicks it around the corner towards the wing, but unfortunately for him it goes just over the boundary line on the full, and the free kick will be taken for Melbourne by Sean White as we have a look at the anxious Footscray match committee.
4 goals the lead to Footscray. White's kick up towards half forward. Pack of players, no mark. Maloney over the ball. Kicked out by Dean. Up towards the forward pocket. Steins leads the race. Flower there as well. Flower gets it. Third touch for the day. And Robbie Flower bangs it through for a goal.
Yes, well, we could very well be watching Robbie Flower and playing his last league game. And unfortunately, it hasn't been one of his better days. That's only his 3rd touch for the day. And young Eccleston, who's had on many occasions this season had to pick up the big-name player in the forward division for the opposition, has done a very good job on Robert Flower, but on that occasion he made the most of it, and that's his first goal for the afternoon.
What about the bounce of the ball? Gee,
very fortunate.
It'd make you cry if you were young Eccleston, because he hasn't put a foot wrong. Back in the centre. Healy kicks the Demons forward. Dean on to Bailey. Kick it yourself. On to Flower. Flower, goal number 2 coming up. There it is. The Demons back in it. Never say die spirit. Footscray by 2 goals.
He's a dangerous player, Robert Flower. It doesn't matter how much you keep him out of the game, you have to watch him for that full 120 minutes because he's such a brilliant player. And there's a handball from Bailey. I know Robbo said to kick it himself, but I think he was just looking to bring Robert Flower into the game a little bit there. And a beautiful goal on the left foot.
Gee, the spirit is great, isn't it? Oh.
That's boys' own manual stuff. Robbie Flower, 2 goals in a minute. Purser kicks 60 metres out of the middle. Viney up in the air but can't mark. Through goes White, meets McPherson head on. Turner gets the hand pass away. It's desperate. Williams tripped. And there's no whistle.
Oh,
and he's penalised for holding the ball. It's Melbourne's free advantage. It goes to Healy, who puts it out very wide to Yates. But he's a bit lucky to get away from Ford. Things going Melbourne's way. Yates banged to full forward. Wilson couldn't take the mark. In there is Wilson again. Threads it out towards Flower, but it doesn't reach him. He applies the tackle. Having a purple patch, Robbie Flower. Flips out from Newport to Flower. Flower paddles further, but it's intercepted by Cordy.
Cordy's quick kick towards half-back. Williams and White. Sean White, what a great bump on Steve McPherson just a few seconds ago. And it just typified the spirit that we've seen in this match. Half-forward flank for the Demons. They're back in it again after trailing by 4 goals only a few moments ago. Could be a free kick to Healy. It's not. Peter Baxter out. Bailey can't break clear. He's now on Wallace. Here's the ball to Steins. Steins' little chip kick. He gets it back. He's well tackled. The ball runs free. Ford overruns it. Kick off the ground by Steins. A chance for Wilson. He's well smothered. McLean, the magician, out wide. And it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in, and the pressure is enormous.
I think Brian Wilson's now playing at full forward. Hasn't had one of his better days either, Brian Wilson.
Well, you only get one touch in a game like this, and Wilson took more than one touch. He had a big chance to kick a goal there. Umpire said that was thrown out, and it's a free kick to Footscray. Interchange. Williams, who'd been full forward in the first term, comes back on to replace Turner, who limps off. Footscray take it away through Kennedy, who'd spent time on the bench. Kick smothered off the boot. Bailey, number 24, charging at it. Dean, who's played well, threads over a good hand pass to Newport. Melbourne in the open. Yates from 55. High. Wilson there with McLean. It might go for a goal. No, it was touched. Wilson didn't think so. The behind to Yates.
Well, I think Brian Wilson may have been the player who did touch that one. So he would have been trying to convince the umpire that he hadn't.
It certainly put a bit of life back in the game because Footscray looked as though they were going away with it. Maloney kicks it in, out towards half-back. Oh, round the neck, free kick to Dean. Warren Dean, who's kicked 2 goals for Melbourne. Wilson trying to out-position his opponent, but McLean with just absolute class gets the through. Cronin under Royal, chased by Coop. Royal gets his kick away towards the wing. Good defensive play by Lovett, and the ball will be thrown in just in front of the Footscray coach's box. 11 points the Bulldogs lead.
Gee, if Turner is injured, they're going to be short a big man, Melbourne. O'Dwyer suspended, Turner injured. Lyon has a broken leg. Stretch, beautiful pass to Wilson.
You wouldn't believe this, would you? Well, 5 minutes ago they were gone.
Wilson and Flower hardly sighted, and they are going to be the players who are going to get the D's right back into this.
Yes, that's a good move by John Northey, I think, playing Brian Wilson at full forward, because on a few occasions in the past he's played there and he's done quite well.
The margin is 11 points. This to get Melbourne within a kick. Right through the middle.
That was the last goal of a dramatic quarter, which ended as it started, with Footscray a goal in front. The climax in a moment.
In Sports Arena this Sunday, Lisa Martin goes for gold in the women's marathon at the World Track and Field Championships. The highlights, results and league ladder from English League Division 1 will highlight the dangers of Grand Prix motorcycling. We'll brush up on Australia's only curling club. Not to be forgotten, we'll follow the schools finals fever. And we'll profile the ins and outs of cricketer David Boone.
8 o'clock Monday.
The bishop has offered me this parish and something inside me. Your urge? I don't know if it's an urge, the voice of God, or indigestion, but I
The
can't...
Reverend Lamb doubts his gut reaction, while the Major has grave concerns.
I've just been looking around the churchyard. It's all a bit sad, isn't it?
That's unavoidable, Major. It's full of dead people.
Then the premiere of a brand new comedy.
I thought you was going to suggest your mother moves in the basement.
One did expect more from one's daughter than an invitation to shack up with her father-in-law.
It's the nuclear family upstairs with Nick and Angie and their new baby. But it's fireworks downstairs when Angie's mum and Nick's dad battle it out for the basement flat.
There's a medical term, you know, for you showing up. Do you know that? It's called postnatal depression.
It's the most outrageous situation comedy in years. 3 up, 2 down. Right after All in Good Faith. If you're laughing Mondays, you're watching ABC.
Now back to the Western Oval. Melbourne Gold less than a minute into the final term to level the scores, and it's still all square when we rejoin 7 minutes in.
That hold-up has really allowed Melbourne to get down there and cover everyone except Michael Ford, the new player
goes
on.
wide to Ford. Ford on centre wing. Plays on from a standing start. And there's the culprit, Earl Spalding. But a free kick has been picked out of it. It goes to Steins. Steins fees it off. In the back pocket, Lovett. Kicks to the wing. Ford can't mark. Running straight at him was Newport. And the free kick has been picked out of it against Newport. And it'll go back to Ford on centre wing.
Well, the Western Oval scoreboard has just done the job. They've put up the Geelong Hawthorn score about 7 minutes into the last quarter here, and Geelong lead by 3 goals at the last break. And there's Spalding again. Inspired. Out to centre wing. Stretch! Would have been the mark of the day if he'd come down with it, but the umpire had to free kick him once he didn't take the mark into the back of Hawkins. Inboard he goes to Ford. Up towards full forward. Couple of touches for McPherson, but no mark. Royal tries to burrow through. Coope's got him. Holding the ball, Brian Royal. You backed yourself, son. A state rover against a man with not much reputation at his 3rd club, but a top tackle by Doug Coope.
Well, he did a very good one earlier that you commentated on, Drew. Out on the wing. Out wide. Purser. Into Wallace. Darren Baxter. Towards half forward.
Oh, shocking kick.
White. What a leap. Sean White a little bit too far for his teammate in Newport. Footscray has still a chance. Peter Baxter on the bottom of it.
Well, they had a chance there, Footscray, if they had
It was a
delivered
bad
that ball
handball by Sean White, really. He did everything right, except the handball was a little too far.
Steins in ruck against Kennedy. Kennedy over the top of it. Got to get rid of it in that situation. Dean grabbed when he didn't have it. Free kick to Warren Dean.
He played it well, Warren Dean.
And now
Yes,
I don't believe it.
Warren Dean held his arm. That was a good decision.
So the kick was reversed and went to Darren Baxter. Up near the boundary line to McPherson. The scores are level, 61 each. McPherson to Beasley. Beasley inside 50. They have kick goals at that end of the ground today, but he's slightly into the breeze. Will he make it? And can he kick straight? He's done neither. Still in the field of play. Love it underneath it. And holding the ball, it's a Melbourne free kick.
Well, Simon hasn't kicked with any confidence for goal today. He's been missed a couple of very easy ones early, and no confidence in that shot for goal.
Steins in short. Good mark taken by Newport at centre half back. He plays on quickly. Gathers magnificent ground. Out towards the wing. Nearly the mark taken by Williams. It's been paid. It's going to Kennedy. Kennedy back into the centre. Purser. Over the top. Maloney. On to McGuinness. McGuinness through half forward. On his favoured foot. To the front of the square. Oh, what a mark taken by Jimmy Steins.
He's had a big last quarter. Newport's going well. Steins didn't take clean possession, but kept it going forward. Viney up towards centre wing. Dean is there. Backs into his opponent. Dean keeps going. Oh, bad luck. He couldn't keep it in. But Melbourne got out of defence well there to have it forward of the wing. The scores have been level now for about 8 minutes, 9-7 apiece.
Between wing and half forward, outer side. Spalding, good punch on. Kennedy's a chance for the Bulldogs. Goes wide. Jackson. Kennedy for Footscray. Good steadiness by the captain. Kick towards the wing. Mark taken, no. It's dropped by Foster. He plays on. Quick left foot kick towards centre half forward. The ball runs free. McGuinness first to recover. Sharon keeps his feet, but McGuinness with scrambling tactics gets the ball back to Brian Cordy. Brian Cordy over the top to Colin into an open goal, and put down your glasses. Footscray by 6 points.
Oh, what a game. Colin second goal for the afternoon. There's a handball across over the top from Cordy. Colin with no one anywhere near him. Plenty of time to run into the open goal. And he steered that one through from about 25 to 30 metres out to give Footscray a 6-point advantage at the 12-minute mark.
Well, what pressure. A 17-year-old boy playing in his third game of league football, Stephen Colin started the season in the under-19s, worked through the reserves, and he's put the Bulldogs in front in the last term of a crucial game. What composure. Williams for Melbourne. Lost it in Kennedy's tackle. Play on. Socket away by Cronin. He's there with Stretch, and the ball goes out of play. And trouble for Jim Steins. Look how he towers over the trainers. What a quarter he's played, Jim Steins.
Yes. They don't need that, Melbourne, because they're undermanned anyway for height. Footscray kicked the ball towards the wing area. Spalding. Good backing up by Sharon. The Demons just perhaps lost a little composure. Newport towards centre half forward. Kennedy, well tackled. Gets the handball away. Purser. Steadiness. Kicks it long towards half forward. Mark to Foster. Plays on to McGuinness. McGuinness left foot kick. 50 metres plus into the pocket. Punched away from Beasley. Coop. On to Yates. Out towards the wing. Williams takes the mark for Melbourne. Must be nearly a record crowd. I don't think I've ever seen 31,000 plus people here at the Western Oval.
A sensational crowd. And they haven't been disappointed. They'll be back next week, but there won't be another game here for a season. Purser. Inboard he goes to Darren Baxter. Kicks out Peter Baxter. Here comes White. But he went too hard at him and let him slip through the tackle. That could be costly. Peter Baxter. Long to Beasley. Hughes in front. Spalding. Good distance with the left boot, but not quite long enough for Yates. And Peter Baxter, who was still there after his long run, marks just outside of half forward.
Not a bad player, this guy. In short, and Royal, who's been on the missing list. He had something like 17 possessions in the first half. They've obviously been tagged by Melbourne in the second half, and has only had 4 possessions since half-time, coming up for his 5th, and it could be a vital one. It's just offline, through from behind, but that could be quite crucial, because now the Bulldogs lead by 7 points. 10-8 plays 9-7.
In this quarter, Footscray 1 goal 1 to Melbourne 1 straight goal. Yates, what a mark. Big mark by Yates. Out to the wing, it's all Melbourne. Stretch, who can run like a gazelle and deliver the ball beautifully. Goes long, not without a chance of scoring. Flower! Robbie Flower.
Oh, how was that?
Game 271, hardly sighted in the first half. 2 goals in a minute in the third quarter, and another one here would get Melbourne back to within a point. What a champion. Melbourne can win it and Geelong lose today, Robbie Flower will play his first ever finals game next week in a career which has lasted 15 years.
From one champion to another.
Oh, well, look at the mark. Stretch. Great play by Stephen Stretch. He delivers the ball perfectly into the forward line. And Robert Flower, even though he's been held all day, takes a screamer in the forward line. That's 3 goals to Robbie Flower, the leading goal scorer from Melbourne.
Barbie Horn would be having a few problems now, wouldn't she, Drew? Bit of excitement. Up towards the Melbourne goal. Here's Purser. Maloney. Towards centre-half forward. Royal. Looking for Beasley. Too high. At the back, Lovett, who's played a great game in defence. Perfect short pass to Coop at half-back. And the Demons just regain a little composure.
Centre wing. Steins and Purser. And Purser thumps away. It's a point the difference, and we're at the 17-minute mark in the last quarter. Who cares whether Geelong are winning at Cardinia Park? This has been one of the best days' entertainment you could ever see. Hand pass out wide to Darren Baxter. Has been benched a couple of times. A little bit disappointing. The ball goes out of play.
Well, we've just heard that Geelong are 9 points in front of Hawthorn, but the players out there have not got a clue. Colin left foot kick towards centre-half forward. Mark taken by Lovett.
Come on, Footscray, you need someone contesting.
Lovett towards centre-half forward. Mark to Newport. Melbourne doing well. Beautiful kick by Newport to full forward. Chance for Jackson. Snapshot for goal is good. Online, Melbourne in front.
What a game. It's excitement plus out here at the Western Oval. Ricky Jackson's first goal for the afternoon. And what an important one, because it put Melbourne in front. Here it is. A great snap from 40 metres out. Melbourne, 5 points in front.
Well, this is just like the good old days. I haven't heard a crowd like this for years. Melbourne out of the middle again. Stretch long off the left foot. Williams there. Wilson over the top. Through goes Flower, but socket away. And Eccleston sees the ball out. And we'll have a throw in at half forward for Melbourne. The Demons lead by 5 points, 73 to 68. The crowd will stay till midnight, I reckon, to lap up this atmosphere. Newport pulled off his kick. Wallace the hand pass away. It goes to Ford. Out to centre wing, Yates. No mark paid. Peter Baxter. Up to half forward. McPherson. Not quite, and whipped away by White, out of play.
Well, Yates may rue the day. There's a photo there of a picture of John Northey and Greg Wells. John Northey just may create a few more grey hairs after this match, and so may Michael Malthouse. Boundary throw in. Greg Healy gets the kick away, but he could not do anything constructive with it, and we'll have another boundary throw in.
He's had a very quiet day, Greg Healy.
In the night grand final, Melbourne clung to a one-kick lead against Essendon to win, and they stayed in front by doing this, spoiling tactics, for about the last 10 minutes.
And didn't they do it well that night?
Well, can they do it again today?
Well, that was your man again, Sean White, that came over the top of the pack and thumped it back over the boundary line. Melbourne by 5 points. There he is again, and he's gained another 15 precious metres. Yates making up for that poor marking attempt a few moments ago. Up towards half forward. Here's a chance for Dean. Can he get his kick away? Jackson again. Can't break clear. Footscray under pressure. Kennedy well tackled by Wilson. Another good tackle by the Demons forwards. Wilson again. But it's against him this time.
Too high.
The free kick will be taken by Footscray. And it'll go to Darren Baxter. And he feeds it off to McLean. There's plenty of space on the outer wing for Footscray. Wilson, do the chasing and do it hard. McLean through half back. Third bounce. Up towards half-forward, a poor kick. Lands in short. Chance downfield, Lovett, who's done a tremendous job for Melbourne in half-back. Up towards half-forward. Chance for Dean. Gets the handball wide. Wilson, cover yourself in glory. He goes for goal and puts it through. The Demons by 11 points.
Well, now it's going to be very difficult for Footscray to get back from here.
Well, Brian Wilson was almost legless after that 100-metre chase against McLean. He could hardly raise a trot here. What a goal.
Yeah, very timely goal by Brian Wilson. That's his second for the afternoon. And 24 minutes gone, 22 minutes gone.
Centre square infringement. Free kick to Footscray, taken by Purser. High to half forward. White flying too early, but he comes out, Spalding comes out with the ball. Spalding's kick is marked by Ford, but he pushed out Newport. Things going Melbourne's way. Stephen Newport. Up to Wilson. He's got it again.
Oh.
Just check Stephen Newport's statistics, who took Gary Lyon's place.
Steve McPherson's been taken off for Footscray and Cousins back on as Brian Wilson lines up the goal which could nearly bury Footscray. We're at the 22.5-minute mark. And a few deep breaths for Brian Wilson. He won a Brownlow in 82, but there'll be no moment like this if he can put Melbourne into the finals. He's missed it.
Bad miss to Wilson.
Newport, 17 kicks and 5 hand passes coming on halfway through the second quarter. Kennedy kicks the ball in. The Bulldogs in a lot of trouble. They trail by 2 goals. The ball at half forward for Melbourne. Here's that dasher stretch. Forced to kick with the left foot. In towards centre half forward. Good punch away by Ford. Chance for Melbourne to come forward again. Sharon. Well tackled by McGuinness. Bailey. Left foot kick high. Towards half forward. Williams nearly marked it. Maloney kick off the ground for Footscray over the boundary line and will have a throw in. Just outside 50 metres. The Bulldogs lead. Melbourne lead. I'm getting excited. Melbourne 12-8. Footscray 10-8.
Just over 24 minutes gone in the final quarter. Melbourne just have to bottle it up. But will that even be enough? 2 straight kicks for Footscray and they can be back level. There's certainly time. 12-8 Melbourne, 10-8 Footscray. In this quarter, Melbourne have kicked 4-1 and Footscray 1-1. Hurriedly by Healy. It didn't cover any distance. Bailey. Footscray man was held over the shoulder and it'll be a free kick to Stephen Wallace.
Gee, Bailey didn't look too excited about that umpiring decision. Wallace onto the left foot, up towards half-back. Here comes Melbourne again. Stretch. In towards full forward. Wilson fell over. What a crucial stage. McLean keeps his feet. Through half-back. Kicks towards half-forward. Viney. Good recovery. Oh, great play. Love it. What a game he's played. Into Newport, who's played equally as well. Some unsung heroes in the Melbourne side. Up towards full forward. Flower! Misses. But a vital behind kick by Melbourne. They now lead by 13 points.
Someone's been reported behind the play. It's either Brian Cordy on that shepherd from Sean White or Viney who charged in afterwards.
Troy Maloney takes the kick in towards the outer side. Footscray need 3 kicks at goal to win. Royals kick is smothered. Goes to Jackson. A centering kick by him. Or fingernails to it, Williams. And it goes through for a behind. Well, you'd have to say it looks like Melbourne now, but it's been such an unbelievable game, I wouldn't write off Footscray, even though we're in time on.
Kennedy goes straight up the field. Footscray need to make a break. Melbourne on the bottom of the pack, rewarded with a free kick. It's Dean, and he kicks the ball a mile. Geelong, we hear, lead by 3 points. 18 kicks for Dean. And a bad tackle by Tony McGuinness. Baxter there. but I feel McGuinness the infringer, and Dean to put the first nail in the Footscray coffin. Beautiful kick by Dean, floats across the face, through for a behind, and Melbourne lead by 15 points. 12-11 plays 10-8.
Yes, it's all over, I'm afraid, the season for Footscray.
Kennedy kicks in, looking for Doug Hawkins. Spoiled by Stretch. At the front, Newport gets out another hand pass to Yates. Just short of the goal square. Wilson in there again, no mark. Comes out with it. Slung off his kick. Rick Kennedy, the Footscray skipper, gets clear. The hand pass, not to advantage really. Tapped out by Darren Baxter. Wallace, good running by Royal. Chance for Footscray to set something up. The little men. Royal across to McGuinness. Coop bearing down. McGuinness backing himself by bouncing. Into Cousins. 60 metres out. Left footer. 2 against 2, but Viney takes the defensive mark.
Rebound football. Viney out wide to Stretch. Melbourne have the space now. Stretch's kick is a good one. Finds Williams on centre wing, and with good hands he takes the mark in front of Michael Ford. One gets the impression that the Demons are just a little bit more composed in the dying moments of the game. Williams up towards centre half forward. Good mark by Purser. Play on quickly. Gets it to Kennedy. Kennedy runs away from Steins. A little chip kick over the top. Set Cousins up. Cousins did it well. White misjudged it. Colin there to pick it up for Footscray. Up towards half forward. That man Lovett. He's there again. He gets the handball wide to Hughes. He's interfered with. Play goes on. Lovett goes down. Hughes kicks it out to the wing, and the mark taken by Stretch.
All Melbourne up the ground. Bailey has a break of about 50 metres. He's got Stretch in support. One out to Wilson with McLean. In goes Eccleston to keep it away from Flower, and the ball out of play. Valuable time ticking away, and Melbourne lead by 15 points, 83 to 68. Can't be much time left.
Boundary throw in, only 30 metres around from the Melbourne goal. Footscray desperate to break clear. Royal, play on, says the umpire. Royal breaks clear in the back pocket. Left foot kick to the wing. Cousins, go for it a bit harder, son. This is a desperate situation. And the boundary line too close, and we'll have a throw in on centre wing. Geelong still lead by 3 points, and Melbourne lead here by 15. What a tragedy it'd be. The Demons have fought it out well. They still may not make the 5. Cronin up towards half forward.
Colin the young teenager, born in 1970, inboard to Foster, who's been around for a long time. Colin loses it in the tackle. Oh, beautiful. Love it. Takes it away. Hand passes 30 metres up the ground. Top football. And Melbourne out through Healy to Williams, who's marked at left wing, right wing and left wing in the last 3 minutes.
Williams long towards half forward. Flower. 2 against 1. Robbie looks tired. Purser there for Footscray. Oh, puts Baxter under pressure. Melbourne with numbers everywhere. Chance for Darren Baxter. Now Eccleston under pressure. The Demon forwards magnificent. But in their enthusiasm, given the free kick away. Is that the siren? Maybe Hawthorn have hit the front.
Yes, they must have.
We may have heard a reaction to Hawthorn hitting the front. The ball on centre wing. The Demon supporters are alive. Coop kicks the ball. Opposite half-forward flank. Williams. Well, he's been everywhere, David Williams. And he takes the mark at centre half-forward, 55 metres from goal.
Melbourne haven't played in the finals since they last won a premiership in 1964. This could be their year. Stretch a long kick. The siren. The Demons have won it. Melbourne have won a difficult task at the Western Oval. The margin, 15 points. And the team which won the night flag could be in the finals, and Robbie Flower might get his last chance. He's announced it's his last season of football, and depending on the result of the game at Kardinia Park, this could be Melbourne's year to get in the 5 for that man, Robbie Flower.
And for a pregnant minute or two, the Demons didn't know what their fate in 1987 was. More of that a little later in our program. But what a match it was. 31,250 were there. There have been bigger crowds. The record was set back in 55 when 42,300 saw a Footscray match against Collingwood. And the Demons coming home against the odds with injured players, suspended players, and winning by 15 points. 3 goals to Robbie Flower, 2 each to Dean and Wilson for Melbourne, and for Footscray 2 each to Foster, McPherson and the youngster Colin, as Drew said, born in the 1970s. Well, now to the match at...
Time.
Wins out. One of the most improved rovers in the competition. Blackwell